Hey everybody, it's me, Alex Garcia, aka The Cog, coming at you as always from comicbookclique.com. Missed last week, but I'm back for the best day of the week this week to talk about 2 weeks worth of comics. Got plenty to talk about, plenty to fill you guys in on, so let's get straight to it. Okay, let's start with last week, right? We had a lot going on, but let's not forget the good stuff, right? Let's start in DC with Absolute Batman number 14 from Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta. The conclusion to the Abomination story arc. Guys, this issue was fantastic. A knockdown, drag out final fight between Batman and Bane with the help of some others I don't want to spoil. Great fight. This was just so much fun seeing what Batman's willing to do to stop Bane. Great stuff. Don't miss this issue, and definitely don't miss the next issue because I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be one that's gonna be hard to get. It's the introduction of the full introduction of the Absolute Joker. But definitely don't miss this issue. So good, so much fun. Scott, you're killing it on this book, and I'm really looking forward to what it is that you're introducing next issue with this new Absolute Joker. Don't miss it. And let's check out Ultimate Wonder Woman by Kelly Thompson and Mateus Bajera, right? I mentioned this before. Every big arc is followed by like a two-part arc where Hayden Sherman gets a break. They bring in a guest artist. This issue we get the first like real full introduction of the Absolute Zatanna. Also, this continues to just flesh out that world of Wonder Woman. It really gives us some more background into what she's willing to deal with, building up this absolute mythos that is also brand new to her. It's only stuff that she's really read in books while being raised in hell, right? So now she's having to deal with it and she's learned through it. Some relationship building moments with her and Steve, and with the full ramifications of her encounter with Zatanna, we have yet to see. And next issue, another issue you're not going to want to miss because I'm pretty sure we have Hayden Sherman coming back and Diana meets Batman. Don't miss it. Don't miss this issue. Great stuff. And in DC Universe proper, DC KO number 2, Scott Snyder and Javi Fernandez. Guys, Scott is like the king of just making weird stories and making them work. Not always for me. The guys don't be upset, but I was not a big fan of all that metal stuff he did a few years back. And I was even suspect about DCKO, but I was shocked as to how much I really loved the first issue, and the second issue is even better. And this cover, I love this cover. This is like classic 90s, that cut open cover, then you open it up, you get the full cover. Great stuff. This is like just the first issue had tons of action, but there was also a lot of explanation as to why everything is happening. In this issue, there's almost no explanation why everything is happening. This is all about fight, 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 and also just a lot of crazy moments. And I love the fact that he's building a lot of those crazy moments around Superman. If you haven't seen the spoilers already, they're out there, but don't miss this issue. Really can't wait to see how this continues. Great stuff, Scott. And let's jump over to Marvel, but not Marvel Universe proper, because last week I only cared about Marvel Knights, The World to Come, The Punisher by Jimmy Palmiotti and Dan Panosian. This is fleshing out that world to come world that we have now come to know. That's being done by Christopher Priest and Joe Quesada in the main book. This is again a story of what the Punisher had to deal with that would go into that story. In this, we see that these crime bosses have this zombie formula to influence criminals, and they get to use it on the Punisher. So just imagine being able to have the Punisher on your team and turning him into a zombie that does your bidding. And Punisher's already, someone that is willing to do the nasty, dirty work. So having him become a zombie, whew. Guys, as much as I'm loving Jimmy Palmiotti's writing on this, to me, it is Dan Panosian's art that really sells this book. It's brutal, it's nasty, it's some people might even call it gross. I even love the way he's drawing the characters, their faces. Great stuff, Dan. You continue to kill it, and Jimmy, I can't really wait to see where this goes, and I'm looking forward to see how this ties into that main The World to Come story arc. So if you're enjoying that, don't miss this. Check it out. And let's jump over to Image. the world, the unnamed universe. We have Geiger, number 18 from Jeff Johns, a little bit of Gary Frank and Eduardo Pansica. This is continuing the story where Geiger is now captured, and they're trying to figure out what to do with him. And in this, they figure, let's kill this guy. And it's more of a exploration into the psyche of and the lore of Geiger, right? Because this is this character in this crazy world that he's mythic, right? And a lot of many people have encountered him, and the few people who have encountered him don't survive. So you kind of just see the aftermath, and this is you kind of get that side of the story of, well, what happened here exactly. But then when we see what Geiger himself is going through, it's crazy stuff. It's all here we see him really just learning his powers, right? Learning that his powers have levels to them. This guy's like going Super Saiyan in this issue. Really can't wait to see how this continues for his path and see how this is eventually going to tie in with Red Coat and with the rest of the unnamed universe. And I really can't wait to see Junkyard Joe make his triumphant return. Jeff and company, you guys are killing it over with Ghost Machine and the unnamed universe. Fun stuff. Don't miss it. And finally, from last week again, Thundercats number 21, Declan Shelby and Drew Moss. Whew. And we finally have the issue where it seems like everything's coming together. Lionel's back. Apex is finally revealing his true self. We have Jaga even showing up in this issue, and we have a certain mythic sword making this triumphant return. Can't wait to see where this finally goes, because everything else, the last bunch of issues really just felt like setup to get us to this point. And from here, really can't wait to see where it goes. And I cannot wait to see how this is all going to tie in with Thundercats Lost. The two titles are really rocking and rolling. Declan and company, Ed Brisson, you guys are turning the Thundercats into a must-read. And hopefully this is also helping the movie status progress as well. Killing over there, Dynamite and company. Thank you for these Thundercats books. Great stuff. Now let's talk about this week, where we're going to start with Marvel in the Ultimate Universe, where we have Ultimate Universe 2 years in by a slew of creators. We got Dennis Camp, Alex Packnadel, and Phil Noto, and a couple other artists, Patrick Boutin, Francesco Mana, Lee Ferguson, Javier Polito. Guys, this picks up from that issue in the Ultimates where the Guardians of the Galaxy are trying to figure out what happened, right? They realize that their future has been wiped out because of what the Maker has done to their world. And here they're trying to just stitch everything back together, as well as get their entire team back, right? Because this Guardians of the Galaxy team is kind of like the Legion of Superheroes, right? Like 1,000 members. They're spread all over the galaxy, and they take care of the galaxy. Here, they're looking for their members. They're trying to figure out their place in the timeline in the world. Their ranks are a bit dispersed, but they're dispersed because they're trying to find their missing members. This also introduces the Ultimate Daredevil. The reason why we have all these different artists is to showcase different characters and their place in this world and how their powers affect the world around them. This is a classic Dennis Camp just being crazy, and Alex Packnadel. I was surprised how well they're teaming up on this. This is an issue I definitely look forward to rereading, because there was a lot to unpack in this issue. Just so much happens. The art shifts, changes, and the entire time I'm reading it, I'm also thinking, well, where are the Ultimates? Where's all these other characters? No one else shows up. This is all about the Ultimate Guardians of the Galaxy, and with everything winding down, I'm like, they're not doing this for no reason. They're going to play a big role in Endgame. So if you don't want to be confused when they do show up in Endgame, do not miss this issue. Great stuff. Read it twice. I only read it once. I got to read it twice. This is a wacky issue. But let's jump over to Ultimate X-Men number 22. Only 2 issues left of this magnificent Peach Momoko run, where she has drawn and written every issue herself. No one else has done that probably in any other comic for the last 2 years, but especially here on this Ultimate book. Here we finally have the final showdown between the X-Men and the Shadow King, and it was epic. This really highlights that in this Ultimate Universe, There really is no room for redemption. I thought this was going to lead us to Shadow King getting that redemption, and I'm very happy to say he does not get it, and it is brutal. And it all finishes with, because we only got 2 issues left, where this team matters in this whole endgame scope. Peach, you've got a hell of a run going here, and you've definitely turned me into a permanent fan of yours. I was always kind of flip-flopping between you, but this book really makes me appreciate what you're capable of. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see the epic conclusion to this. And let's jump over to X-Men proper, I guess, in some ways. We got Amazing X-Men from the Age of Revelation by Jed MacKay and Mahmoud Assar. This issue kind of starts to get us to the conclusion of this whole Age of Revelation. Beast and Cyclops, their psyches have been transplanted to the future. We now know what, not just the reason why they're in the future, but their future selves are in the past. Why? We have yet to totally see, but you can kind of understand why they would do that. Here, this is all winding down. We know a certain character who has been hiding out on another planet is finally making his emergence because Revelation is going off on his own plan, right? Apocalypse gave him that mantle for a reason, and he also kind of left him a plan. It seems like he's taken this plan, which is why we're here, into his own hands. He's trying to figure out what's the best way to wrap things up, but this is all leading into the big conclusion with this whole book of Revelation and everything like that. I know a lot of people who are reading all of these books, and I purposely avoided all of them because I knew it was going to be a mess. But if you're going to stay interested in the series, just look for that name, Jed MacKay. If it's being written by Jed MacKay, it matters, and it's pretty good. So if you're interested, but not too interested, just make sure it says Jed MacKay, and you will be solid. And we're almost done. We're almost there. We're almost going to get back to the regular X-Men books, see how this matters, and see how this is all going to roll moving forward. But on a whole, this has kind of like tested my patience with the X-Men. So we'll see where it goes. Let me know how you guys feel about it. And let's jump over to Image, where we have books that aren't testing my patience, except for how often they come out because I can't get enough. G.I. Joe, number 15 by Josh Williamson and Tom Riley. This is Dreadnought War, part 3. Guys, we got Duke and Cobra Commander being reluctant partners. Here, they're captured by some Dreadnoks. We get more insight into exactly how this man looks underneath his helmet. And where this is going to go. This was an action-packed issue. We get to see really into the world of the Dreadnoks in this Energon universe. And we finally, it seems like, I've been talking about this, guys. You have that underground, that behind-the-scenes G.I. Joe team. It seems like we're going to have to get some wet works involved because these Dreadnoks are nasty, and they got Duke, and they got a much-valued prisoner. So these next 2 parts of the Dreadnought War, because we got 5 parts of this going, are going to be amazing. Josh Williamson and company, you guys are killing it. Energon universe continues, for me, probably to be my favorite universe to play in. Great stuff. Don't miss it. But that other universe that I was mentioning that I am enjoying over in Dynamite, we got Thundercats Lost, number 9, the second to last, the penultimate issue of the Thundercats Lost. I'm a little sad to see it go, but at the same time, hopefully this means that this is going to tie into Thundercats, where everything is really coming to a head here. And here in this issue, right, the Thundercats, they're desperately trying to save their friend Ligon from Scorpius. They've already lost so many members of their team and their family, and they're willing to do whatever they have to do to save their family members. And lots of stuff happens here, and I'm really excited for the next issue because it's definitely going to be action packed. Scorpius has, like any good Scorpion has done, has led the team into a trap. Let's see if they can get out of this, because we know certain members aren't probably going to make it out of this. Good stuff. Can't wait to see how it all ties in. Ed Brisson, and we have a guest artist on this who was really great. Elton Tomasi. Art on this is fantastic. I really hope he's on the next issue as well. And I would highly recommend you don't miss this. And with being only 10 issues, maybe you can still pick up the back issue so you can see how this ties into the regular Thundercats book. Check it out. And last but not least, let's jump over to Mad Cave, where we have Speed Racer number 5 by David Pepose and David Tento. And guys, I've been saying every month about this. David Pepose, you every month show your love, not just in this book, but in Space Ghost, in the in Space Ghost, as well as if your Captain Planet book, you show just how much you love these cool old school properties and how you're willing to bring them into the present. But I really, as always, want to highlight David Tinto, because David Tinto's art is able to capture the dynamic and action-packed sense that you need for a speed racer book. This is a book about racing, about cars flying in the air, releasing grappling hooks, and just high-paced, high-octane action. His art every month, it just feels like it gets better and better. In this issue, we get some great racing between the head main villain, as well as we get Racer X. Great stuff. I really didn't think it was going to capture me for this long on Speed Racer. I felt like maybe the first two issues were going to be like a nostalgia trip, and I was like, how much do I really like Speed Racer? They propose, David Tinto, you're making me love Speed Racer. I can't wait to see where the next arc is going to take us, because now the family is finally back together, which is also going to lead us down the path of, well, what is happening with these rival companies, and what it is that they really hope to get out of the Speed family. Great stuff. Thank you guys. Awesome work. And guys, if my quick reviews here aren't enough, please make sure you're hitting up our website, comicbookclique.com. We have a slew of comic book reviewers now pumping out fantastic reviews on books that I'm covering and books that I have not covered. These reviews are in depth. They give you plenty of more insight. And let's keep the conversation going as far as those reviews on our website, here on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our X, the Comic Book Clique. We are full power ahead, guys. And also make sure you're checking out our Dirt Sheet Radio with Jon Escudero. If you're not interested in this stuff, or you're also interested in wrestling as well as comic books, this is the place for us all to gather. Let's keep it going. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let's talk about how all of this stuff matters, and let's just have a good time with everything, guys. We're having a good time over here. We're keeping track of everything. Let us know what it is that I missed out on the last 2 weeks. I know there were tons of books that I missed out on, so let me know what I missed out on. And please keep track of, like I said, of our reviews. Also, hit up our Patreon. The more you contribute, the more we're able to then give back. And guys, we want to give back as much as possible, because we're having a blast over here. So thank you as always for your time. And as always, keep print alive, read more comics. Later.